Alright, so I found this guy out in the middle of Fontaine somewhere, and he seems to have a quest for me. Brogley? I guess that's what I'm gonna call him. Oh, what am I to do? Huh? Are you okay? Sitting so sadly alone by the water like that. Did something bad happen? Yes, and it wasn't any old something bad, but something awful. Ah, I apologize. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Brogley, and I'm an entry-level researcher at the Fontaine Research Institute, and I was previously responsible for monitoring Fontaine's hydrology data. What's hydrology data? Simply put, it is all the data related to the various properties of water. For example, there's the temperature of various water layers, water level, rates of current flow, and evaporation within set times, concentration of dissolved impurities. Whoa, that all sounds really complicated. It is. That's why people are needed, specifically my colleagues and I. I collect this complex data and make observations so that we can detect changes in the water quality in advance. If no one does this work, by the time we discover a huge problem, it will be too late to address it. You know, that's one of the reasons those lovely oceanids left Fontaine. There was a change in the water quality that made it unstable for them to live in. Really? That's not what I heard. Well, that's what I was told during my induction training. Probably to arouse a semblance of personal responsibility in us. The point is, monitoring the hydrology data is important work. For instance, if a change in water quality nears the minimum coefficients, it could make the taste less smooth and refreshing. What? That's all? Yeah, well, that's what makes it the minimum coefficient, right? But if things go out of hand, what, would the water turn into Fanta? No, it would probably just lead to a mass extinction event all over Fontaine. Sounds like scaremongering to me. Wait a minute, does that mean you're staying here by yourself because something terrible has happened to the water? Oh, not all. It's just that the monitoring data I gathered has sunk to the bottom along with the observation station. And I don't know how I can fish them back out. That's what's got me so worried. The observation station, too? Yes, I imagine you've heard that awful lab accident from before. You know, the one that blew this, ugh, the mitten in my mouth, blew the central laboratory sky high. As ill luck would have it, that lab accident also sunk the hydrology observation station here. Fortunately, my colleagues and I were doing a study somewhere else at the time, so we weren't hurt. But the years of hydrology monitoring data we've collected are all still down there. Well, that does sound pretty serious. We'll take care of it. Really? Ah, kind sir. If you can help me, I'll be in your debt for the rest of my life. You should know that, ever since the observation station sank, the former departments had to be reorganized, and I was transferred to the newly established Department of Hydrology and Aquatic Life Conservation. Not only is the department head my mint, oh my god, not only is the department head breathing down my neck all day, but there are also all these new inexplicable rules. We have to report for duty on time, and we still have to make this weekly report at the end of each week. We can't even openly take our afternoon naps in the office anymore. Even worse, there's a woman who keeps a blubber beast in the office. A blubber beast! It's bitten me 3 times already. So if our research data from before can be retrieved, I'll be able to think of a way to persuade my supervisor to restore our hydrology monitoring department. That way my colleagues and I can be transferred back to our original posts and return to the happy lives of ease. Return to fulfilling lives of field studies. So, after all that, you just want to slack off, don't you? Yeah, why don't you just go down there and get that stuff yourself? Well, this is embarrassing, but even though Fontaine Institute did organize diving training sessions, we strategically held a dinner each time. Every diving training session collected with our dinner reservations at Hotel de Board. What a shame. Anyway, the advancement of the scenario of hydrology and the future Fontaine are in your hands, kind sir. As for your reward, worry not. As long as you can help me recover my research, I'll do everything in my power to ensure you're adequately compensated. So I'm begging you, please retrieve our precious data from the central control room for me. In search of lost time, south. Oh, that's what starts this? How is this a new entry when I've fought one like this before, I thought? I didn't grab a thing yet, so that's why I'm hitting it like this. I should have grabbed a thing. There we go. So I'm gonna go grab this thing real quick. Oh, I can use this. Okay. Come on. Okay. This notebook must have been made by a water-resistant material. It's still in perfect condition even after all this time. There's also a sticky note on the cover. This is already the third time. Remember to follow the instructions precisely when operating. If we lose the data again, we won't get any more afternoon snacks for the month. Flip through the notebook. Standard data export procedure confirmed the energy storage device below the main console is online. In accordance with the Fontaine Research Institute Energy Conservation Regulation D503, the device is turned off by default. When energy supply is normal, the green indicator on the main console will light up. At this time, pull the control lever on the left marked "Do Not Touch" or else to print out the observation data. Data should be printed at least once every 3 months, or else some data may be lost. Does that mean I should do this? Great, now we can turn the console on. What does the instruction manual say? Okay, next we just need to pull that lever that says "Do not touch under any circumstance" on it, and we can export the data. Do not touch under any circumstances. That's what the manual says. Paimon guesses to prevent other people from misusing it? Weird. This should be the monitoring data Broglie needs. They're sopping wet. Punch tape retrieved from the water. The data recorded within can only be deciphered using specialized machinery. Although it was made of special waterproof material and has thus not been destroyed, has been in there long enough to feel rather wet even after being hauled out. Paimon can't understand any of it, but we need it to bring it back to him, and we're good, right? Okay. By the way, let's check this out. Yeah, that was a new one. Okay. So let's make our way back out. How'd I leave? That is where I came in, right? Oh, I can go through here. Yes, that's it. That's it. All the data from the station have been recovered now. Well, that's good. Wait a minute. Didn't you say this station? Yes, we have 3 observation stations and 1 central processing station in total, each with their own independent data sets. So in order to convey the need for monitoring to my supervisor, the data from the Marine 2 stations still need to be recovered and then analyzed at the central processing station. Alright, Paimon will bite. Do you also need us to salvage the other 2 stations? Oh, of course not. The other 2 observation stations were spared from the lab disaster and continue to stand proudly on solid ground. That's a relief. It's just that those 2 stations have been taken over by some fellows from Shesnaya. From Shesnaya? Hang on, you're not talking about the Fatui, are you? That's them. They claim that they got permission from the Maison Gaston to take over the stations. They won't let us anywhere near them, let alone retrieve the data. As for the Maison Gaston, as you know, verifying anything with the Maison Gaston is harder than trying to catch lightning in a bottle. Sounds a little suspicious. Yeah, since it's the Fatui we're talking about, they may actually be planning to use the observation station to do something bad. Paimon doesn't super want to help, but Traveler, we should take a look just in case. Thank you so much, kind sir. I'll mark the location of the Pâté de Fruit station and Crêpes Suzette station on your map. Why are they named after food? Aren't these all food names? Yes, and they do sound sweet and tasty, don't they? Just the way life ought to be. By the way, this place is the Conche Madeleine station. Imagine, if you would, breaking off a small piece of Conche Madeleine, steeping it in warm water or tisane, and drinking it all up. That's what our tea times were like before. I never thought the station would end up sinking like this. Anyway, for me to be happy and free again, I mean, for scientific advancement and the future of humanity, I'm counting on you to help me recover that old monitoring data. Okay. Well, that's the south one. I still have west and north to do. Okay, I guess those are the ones. So anyway, I'm actually going to split this up into parts, so I'm going to end this here for now, and I'll see you guys later.